Well, I suppose I should start by saying hello internet. This is my virginal, very first motovlog. Well, in fact, it's the first time I will ever have made any kind of vlog, and the first time that anything will have been posted to YouTube, so it's something that took me a while to think through and decide whether I wanted to get involved with it. But given that I decided I wanted to put a camera on my helmet for safety reasons, it seemed kind of easy next step to shoot a bit of footage, occasionally say something, maybe not always. Yeah, so it's taken me a few weeks to make the decision to do it and to select the camera that I'm using, which is not a GoPro, it's an Ion Air Pro 3. The bike I'm on, it is the 2018 Triumph Street Triple R. So that's 765cc, 116 brake horsepower, and I think it's around 80 newton meters of torque. Quite a bizarre story as to how I ended up on this bike though. Sorry about that, quite a weird story as to how I ended up on this bike. A bit embarrassing as well, so I will cover that perhaps in my next video, not one for today. So anyway, I used to ride bikes when I was young, like late teens and early to mid 20s, and I'm in my 50s now, so that was a long time ago. And I had been saying, actually quite regularly for a few years now, that I fancy getting back on two wheels, and the more I thought about it, the more appealing it became. But I was being met with open hostility by my other half, who had determined bikes were much too dangerous and that I wasn't having one. So anyway, I let it go. I wouldn't say that I accepted that I wasn't going to have a bike. I wasn't galvanised into action until last summer, when my son, who I think he was 21, yes he was 21, still is, said to me that he was going to take his CBT, and I said that he was going to get a scooter to ride around on. And I decided that it was totally unacceptable for my son to be on a bike and for me not to be, so I slowly and carefully persuaded my other half that it was going to happen. I don't think she was particularly delighted, but she certainly got the message after a few conversations on the subject, and I duly booked myself in for my CBT, which I took at the North London Motorcycle Training School, I think it's called. It's in Edgware. Anyway, they are fantastic there. And it was weird actually, because although I hadn't been on a bike for, well, many years, the moment I got on one I felt pretty comfortable, and I kind of sailed through the CBT without any real problems, as you would expect, I guess. And then I put myself in for, I decided to go the DAS route for my full licence. So that's preceded by the theory test, which again I passed. Wasn't really too difficult, although I did make a mistake in operating the software platform that you answer the hazard perception tests on. That didn't help my cause very much, I have to say. But anyway, I passed that, and then I took my Mod 1 and Mod 2 in Enfield Test Centre. I think I'll just wait here because I don't know if there's any space to pull in at the front of this queue, and I would rather, particularly with buses and coaches coming, I would rather not take any chances. So, having passed my tests, I think Mod 2 was eventually passed in early to mid-October. There's a bit of a lead time for the test slots. Having passed my tests, I bought my bike. In fact, I picked my bike up the day after I passed my Mod 2. I'd already ordered it, had some bits put on it. The reason I said that the story of this bike is slightly embarrassing is that this bike is not the one that I purchased and picked up last October. The reason it isn't is the thing that's embarrassing, so I will get onto that in a subsequent vlog, assuming I make one. Anyway, since then I have, on one bike or another, got almost 2,000 miles under my belt. I think it's about 1,800, which, given that it's been through the winter, so effectively late October through to now, which is mid-February, I don't think that's too bad actually. I think it's a pretty good performance. In fact, I cannot wait. I've loved every second on the bike, and I just cannot wait for the weather to get a little bit better, and for it to be warm and sunny, and I can really enjoy it. But that's not to say I'm not enjoying it now, but you know, at times it's been really cold, the roads have been a little bit worrying, so I've had to be pretty careful. Which is a shame, because this bike is brutal in its power delivery. I mean, when I'm riding like this, I'm around sort of 4,000 revs, but it makes peak torque at, I think, 9,000, and red lines at 12.5. I mean, peak torque at 9,000, and I'm pottering around at 4. That's quite a difference. Now again, I would normally, if I wasn't focusing on my camera and what I'm saying, I would normally not pull away in second gear for a start, and I would have been at the front of that queue. I quite like filtering actually. I was pretty nervous at first, but I've done a lot of riding sort of in London, on the outskirts of London. And to be honest, if you don't filter, there's no point in having a bike, because you just sit in traffic all day. I think the average, there was some data collated a few years ago, and I don't think it's got any better, which determined that the average speed in central London during the day was around 4 miles an hour. I mean, you can walk at that speed. Madness. So yeah, normally I would filter at lights and in traffic queues, but I just didn't want to distract myself while I was talking to you lot. This area we're coming into, by the way, is lovely. It's Mill Hill Village. This building is a convent. Excuse me. Oh, I hit a bump then and I felt my back tyre go. It's always a bit unnerving. My last bike, I thought the tyres were awful actually, so anything causing any kind of unevenness on the road, the tyres would follow whatever line that took. Whereas this bike is, it has much larger and better tyres. I'll tell you what they are when I talk about the bike next time. Now, this is a famous private school. It's Mill Hill School. It's where the posh kids go. And interestingly, it will always have a place in my heart, because for the first time in my life, at quite a ripe old age, I dived into their swimming pool. I'd never dived into any kind of pool before. Not a great swimmer. I mean, I can swim. It's not I'm not the most proficient. And it was peak summer, and I was standing by the edge of the pool being egged on, and there were many people watching me, wondering why I wasn't doing it. And in the end, I was simply so embarrassed that I thought, sod it, let's give it a go. And I shocked everybody by carrying out the most technically perfect dive into a swimming pool that you're ever likely to see. And I've never equalled it since. Not that I've tried very often. So, yeah, the swimming pool at Mill Hill School. Roads here, there's a lot of construction going on around here, and you have to be a little bit careful with these roads because they're full of debris from trucks going up and down carrying building rubble and hardcore and various other things that either blow off in the wind or kind of tip out the bed, from underneath the bed or over the edge of the truck, and you cannot be too careful, in my opinion. And I certainly don't want to mark the occasion of my first vlog with an off. Yeah, so I'm just going to concentrate momentarily here. Well, I've been concentrating everywhere, but you know what I mean. Hopefully you didn't notice me accidentally put the bike into neutral and then pull away whilst moving in first gear. I think there's a knack to chatting to the camera and riding in your normal proficient style, which might take a little bit of getting used to. But hopefully we'll get there in the end. Interesting manoeuvre. North London and drivers of those large SUVs, the area is known for the quality of the driving. What a beautiful day. I just actually bought a dark tinted visor. I wear an Arai helmet, and I've had this visor for a few days now. This is only, I think, the second time I've used it, because I've had a couple of rainy or overcast days since then, but oh, fantastic, what a difference. Steady. I wear glasses, and so I do have one pair of prescription sunglasses. They're quite nice, but they're not the most comfortable under my helmet. They dig into my nose a bit, whereas my regular prescription glasses are really comfortable. So one of the reasons I got this visor was just so that I didn't have to faff about with sunglasses and then potentially having to take a second pair of glasses for going indoors or later in the day. This is much better, and also it looks so cool. I mean, matte black helmet, dark smoke visor, just looks the business. I love it. So we're just leaving the Mill Hill area, or Mill Hill Village area, and we are heading towards Hendon. Hendon is an area that I know from my childhood, actually. That's annoying, I can't get through there. Well, I'm not going to try anyway. Yeah, not my favourite area, but I know it quite well. Oh, that's better. Bit of fresh air. I've got no idea what difference having my visor up will make to the quality of the sound. Well, at least I'll know when I get home anyway. But for now, probably best that I keep it down. Yeah, today I'm heading for somewhere very close to Whitestone Pond. Whitestone Pond is in Hampstead, and it's notable for being the highest point in London. So if you're standing at the pond, there is nowhere in London at a higher altitude than you are. Now, immediately adjacent to Whitestone Pond are three really famous pubs. One of them is the Old Bull and Bush. One of them is Jack Straw's Castle. And the final one is, what is it? The Spaniards Inn. And I will impart a little bit of info about those pubs at some point in the future, because I will probably end up riding to them or past them, just because I love them all. Well, not Jack Straw's Castle, but I love the Bull and Bush and the Spaniards Inn. Both of them mean a lot to me because, you know, from the age of about 16 onwards, they would be quite frequent watering holes for me and my friends at the time, and I still, you know, subsequent to that, I still have a bit of history with them. This is Dyer. I'm just going to concentrate for a moment here. The drivers in this area, in my opinion, can be challenging. I say that for a number of reasons, none of which I shall go into now. Don't know if you saw the tilt then, but I hit a small pothole that I didn't see till it was too late to avoid it, and Very nearly took me out actually. Come on, don't make me put my feet down. Come on, come on. Ugh. Car parking. So where was I? Oh yeah, so I'm heading up towards Whitestone Pond. There, I mean, almost adjacent to the old Bull and Bush, which is one of the pubs that I just mentioned. But I am not going to the pub. I'm going to a little park, Golders Hill Park, but it's not even particularly little. But I like to sit there and have a coffee when the weather's nice, and it was certainly nice when I set off, but less so now. I'm going to sit there and have a coffee and ponder life for a little while, and then go back home. And the entrance to the park is actually pretty much opposite the pub, so you'll see it as I turn into the park, but not the inside, or not really the outside either, not this time anyway. Bugger. I thought I had an opportunity then. Perhaps not. Too many cars for my liking. See, this is what happens. A multitude of times every day, people just don't look. They don't look, they don't indicate, and frankly, like that guy, they don't even care. I mean, he did not give a damn that he pulled out into my lane. Which is a bit annoying. But I'm not going to be one of those motovloggers who has a coronary because someone pulls out 200 yards ahead of my bike, when, you know, even if I had the stopping ability of a tank, it wouldn't be actually, it wouldn't represent any kind of danger whatsoever. I do find these guys funny. Right, but we're only a minute or so away, so nearing the end of my first ever vlog. Well, I say we're nearing the end, that assumes a few things, that it's come out okay in terms of audio quality, that the camera is still pointing in generally the correct direction, and that I work out how to edit it using iMovie. But if the stars are aligned and all those things happen, then this it will indeed be my first vlog. Bull and Bush straight ahead, park on the right, and that is where I'm going. Very useful little car park here where I can shove it in this corner. So before I park my bike, so I'm going to leave it running for a moment. That's where I'm heading. I should be sitting at one of those tables having coffee and a vape, and then I'll be heading home. So I hope you've enjoyed this. It's probably quite amateurish, but give me a bit of time. I'm sure I'll get the hang of it and get slightly better. If you did enjoy it, then hit the like button, and if you think you want to come back for more, then hit the subscribe button.